and reviewing every video game.
Hey gamers, my name is Ampersand, and welcome to my video review of Visions of Mana for PC. The hardware that I use in my PC are as follows. A Ryzen Threadripper 1950X for the CPU, and an NVIDIA 1080 Ti for the GPU. Please remember that the game might run better or worse for you, depending on your choice of hardware and platform. Without further ado, let's jump right into Visions of Mana. Right off the bat, I want to say that this is not a perfect game, and I won't be giving it a glowing endorsement. There's a lot to like and even love about this game, but as a game in the Mana series, it has a lot to live up to, and I don't think it reaches the lofty heights some of its predecessors did. That said, this is an extremely solid game. The game begins in earnest when the main character, Val, gets named Soulguard. What's that? Simply put, it's a dude who has to protect alms. What are alms? Also simple. They're people chosen by the elementals and a fairy to sacrifice their souls to the Mana goddess. Sounds a little bleak when you put it like that, huh? Despite this initially being framed as a positive thing, to be chosen as an alm as Val's girlfriend is, it's obviously not all it's made out to be, and some people take issue with it. The story in this way explores mortality and what it means to truly live, and while it never gets too heady, it does make the player question things a bit, which is good. Ultimately though, the story is just okay. It's neither truly compelling nor repelling, but it's serviceable. I feel it peaks too early and then flatlines a bit for the rest of the game. The gameplay, on the other hand, is pretty great throughout. You can run, dash, smack enemies with weak and strong attacks, use moves and items with the ring menu system, which still holds up to this day. In the overworld, your gameplay focuses mainly on exploring and finding glowing bits of light that lead you to items and treasure. In battle, you get put into an arena to duke it out with a group of enemies, and use sword and sorcery to take them out. It feels fantastic to control, and once you get elemental vessels, you get to pop the hood on this car and see what makes it drive. And that's where the best of the gameplay shines for me. Elemental vessels are devices that you can use to solve puzzles in the overworld and help out in combat. For instance, letting you swing around using the Dark Elemental vessel to get to out-of-reach places. But most importantly, you can also equip them to change your class, and you can do this on the fly. Each character has multiple unique classes they can become, with different stats, moves, weapons, and passives that completely change how a character plays. The moves and passives are unlocked on your elemental grid, which you unlock with points you gain by exploring the world. It's a ton of fun, and the added customization really makes your playthrough feel like your own. It also feels rewarding when you get to put all that work into customizing your character's stats and abilities, and then getting to blow out an enemy boss's butthole with reckless abandon. That said, if you don't prepare properly, bosses have a lot of health and can take a long time to fell if you don't exploit their elemental weaknesses. On another subject, I also really enjoy the graphics and the music. While I was always taking in the sights, there were a large handful of moments during my gameplay where I had to set the controller down and just bask in how beautiful the artistic design of the game is. It's a wonderfully good looking game, even if it has its share of technical blips that hold it back, such as pop-in and sometimes even stuttering, even with the hardware I mentioned in the opening. Ultimately, the game is a tribute to the Mana series, even if it doesn't match the greatest in the franchise. Characters new to this series, such as Eorin, fit well in the Mana theme, while some old faces from the previous games show up to help as well. It's clear this game was made for love of the series, and tried its hardest to not let it down, especially after the disaster that was Dawn of Mana. Maybe I'll make a review about that someday. Anyway, Visions of Mana is a great game, held back by some bad writing and technical jitters. The AI of your companions in battle aren't great all the time either. It's a welcome addition to the series, however, and if you are interested in Mana games at all, you won't be horribly disappointed with this one. It scratches the itch that Mana fans have been having for a long time, waiting for a new game after a batch of remakes of the older ones. I hope you have fun with it too. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next review.